What if I told you there are islands on Earth so secret, so forbidden that entire governments will go to extreme lengths to keep you away from them? Islands where entry is punishable, where mysteries lie buried beneath dense jungles, volcanic rock, or ancient ruins, and where whispers of hidden experiments, lost civilizations, or dangerous secrets echo across the waves. These are not just tourist destinations with a "Do Not Enter" sign. These are the islands governments do not want you to know about. Stay tuned, because what you are about to hear will change the way you look at the world map forever. Why islands hold secrets throughout history. Islands have always had a sense of mystery. Isolated from the mainland, cut off from outside influence, and shaped by unique ecosystems, they often hide secrets that the rest of the world can only guess at. Some islands are forbidden because they are sacred, others because they are deadly. And then there are those whose secrets are so closely guarded by powerful governments that the very act of speaking about them feels dangerous. In this video, we will uncover the truth about 10 extraordinary islands that governments have locked away from the world. Each one carries its own story of danger, conspiracy, mystery, and fear. So let us set sail into the forbidden waters and explore the islands governments never wanted you to know about. Island number 1. North Sentinel Island. The island of no return, hidden deep in the Bay of Bengal, lies North Sentinel Island, one of the last untouched places on Earth. Officially part of India, this island has been declared completely off-limits to outsiders. The reason: the inhabitants, known as the Sentinelese people, violently resist any contact with the outside world. For thousands of years, the Sentinelese have lived in complete isolation, untouched by modern civilization. They are considered one of the world's last uncontacted tribes. Attempts to reach the island have often ended in tragedy. In 2006, 2 fishermen who drifted too close were killed. In 2018, an American missionary attempted to step foot on the island. He never came back alive. The Indian government has banned all travel to the island within a 3-mile radius. They claim it is for the protection of the tribe from disease, since even the common cold could wipe out their entire population. But many conspiracy theorists believe the ban hides something deeper. Why is the island so heavily protected? What knowledge, artifacts, or ancient history could be buried under its sands and jungles? Some suggest the Sentinelese may hold ancient genetic secrets of humanity's past. Others believe the island's isolation hides archaeological wonders from a lost civilization. Whatever the truth, North Sentinel Island remains one of the most mysterious places in the modern world, the place governments truly do not want you to know about. Island number 2. Diego Garcia. The military island that vanished from maps. Now we travel to the Indian Ocean, where lies a small atoll named Diego Garcia. At first glance, it seems like a tropical paradise with clear waters and white sands. But this island is not for vacationers. In fact, it is one of the most restricted places on Earth. In the late 1960s, the British government forcibly removed the island's native population, known as the Chagossians, and sent them away to Mauritius and the Seychelles. Why? Because the island was secretly leased to the United States military, which transformed it into one of the most important and secretive air bases in the world. From Diego Garcia, the United States has launched countless operations in the Middle East, and it is believed to house advanced surveillance systems capable of monitoring nearly half the planet. What makes Diego Garcia even more chilling is how it has been literally erased from certain maps and censored from satellite imagery for years. Tourists cannot step foot on it. Journalists cannot investigate it. Even the original islanders are forbidden to return to their ancestral homes. Diego Garcia is, quite literally, the island that governments erased from the world's memory. Island number 3. Niihau. Hawaii's forbidden island. When people think of Hawaii, they imagine sunny beaches, surfing, and luau celebrations. But one Hawaiian island is completely off-limits to outsiders. This is Niihau, often called the Forbidden Island. Privately owned since the 1860s by the Robinson family, Niihau is home to around 170 residents who live without cars, without paved roads, and in many cases, without modern conveniences. The Hawaiian language is still spoken there as the primary tongue. Outsiders are not allowed to visit, except for special invited guests. The official story is that Niihau is preserved in its natural state to protect Hawaiian traditions and wildlife. But conspiracy theorists whisper of hidden agendas. Some suggest there are undisclosed military installations there. Others claim the island is used for secret government experiments because of its isolation. During World War II, Niihau became infamous for the Niihau incident, when a Japanese pilot crash-landed on the island after the attack on Pearl Harbor. The event revealed how isolated and cut off the island really was. Today, Niihau remains shrouded in secrecy. Tourists can only see it from afar, gazing at its untouched beaches through binoculars from neighboring islands. What exactly happens on Niihau, only its residents know, and they are not telling. Island number 4, Vozrozhdeniya Island. The island of plagues, buried deep within the RLC, lies an island that has a terrifying legacy. This is Vozrozhdeniya Island, once the site of the Soviet Union's most secret biological weapons laboratory. For decades, Soviet scientists tested some of the deadliest pathogens known to mankind: here anthrax, smallpox, plague, and even genetically engineered superviruses. When the Soviet Union collapsed, the facility was abandoned, but the dangers did not vanish with it. Barrels of anthrax spores were left behind, buried in the sand. Although cleanup efforts have been attempted, many experts believe the island remains contaminated to this day. Locals whisper that strange illnesses spread from the area, and fishermen avoid its shores. Some even believe new, more dangerous strains of diseases may still be locked away there, waiting to be discovered or unleashed. Governments rarely acknowledge Vozrozhdeniya Island in public discussions, and no tourist will ever be allowed to set foot there. It is a haunting reminder of humanity's flirtation with biological disaster, hidden away on a remote island few people know exists. Island number 5, Poveglia Island. The island of death, just a short boat ride from Venice, Italy, lies one of the most feared places in the world. Poveglia Island. At first glance, it looks like a peaceful ruin, with crumbling buildings surrounded by calm waters. But the history of this island is nothing short of horrifying. In the 18th century, when the plague ravaged Europe, Poveglia was used as a quarantine site. Tens of thousands of plague victims were sent here to die. Their bodies were burned and buried in mass graves, and legend says the island's soil is mixed with human ash. Later, in the 20th century, a mental asylum was built on the island. Stories of cruel doctors and terrifying experiments soon followed, with tales of screams echoing across the water at night. Today, Poveglia is abandoned, but it is completely off limits to visitors. The Italian government bans entry, citing safety concerns, but locals believe the ban is to keep people away from the island's dark secrets. Many claim it is haunted, with ghostly figures seen wandering the ruins. Others whisper that the government hides its true history of unethical medical experiments carried out there. For now, Poveglia remains a forbidden island, an eerie reminder of humanity's darkest chapters, sealed off from the rest of the world. Island number 6, North Brother Island. New York's forgotten quarantine zone, hidden in plain sight. Right in the East River of New York City, lies North Brother Island, another island erased from public access. Unlike the tropical paradises we have talked about, this island sits right next to one of the busiest cities on Earth, yet almost no one knows about it. In the late 1800s, North Brother Island became a quarantine hospital, where people with infectious diseases like smallpox, typhoid, and tuberculosis were isolated from the general population. It is most famous for being the place where Typhoid Mary, one of the most infamous carriers of disease in history, was held until her death. After the hospital closed, the island was briefly used as housing for veterans, then later as a rehab center for drug addicts. Eventually, the facility was abandoned. Today, the decaying buildings are overtaken by nature, making the island look like something out of a post-apocalyptic film. The New York City government has declared the island off-limits to the public, officially to protect its fragile bird colonies. But many suspect there is more to the story. Why keep such a historically rich site hidden? Some conspiracy theorists believe North Brother Island still hides classified medical experiments or hazardous waste from its quarantine days. Whatever the case, it is an eerie forbidden zone in the middle of America's greatest city. Island number 7, Bouvet Island. The loneliest place on Earth, far out in the South Atlantic Ocean, lies Bouvet Island, a desolate piece of land owned by Norway. Often called the most remote island on Earth, it is covered in ice and surrounded by stormy seas. No one lives there, and visiting is nearly impossible. What makes Bouvet Island mysterious is not just its remoteness, but the strange events tied to it. In 1964, a British expedition discovered an abandoned lifeboat on the island's shores. There were no signs of the crew, no explanation of how it got there, and no evidence of where it came from. Decades later, the island made headlines again when nuclear monitoring systems detected a mysterious double flash of light near the island in 1979, something many believed to be a secret nuclear test carried out by either South Africa or Israel. Norway strictly controls access to Bouvet Island, allowing only rare scientific missions. Tourists and independent explorers are banned. Officially, the reason is safety due to the island's dangerous conditions. But skeptics believe it is also to cover up evidence of secret Cold War activity, or perhaps something far stranger. To this day, Poveglia Island is shrouded in mystery, an isolated landmass governments prefer the world to forget. Island or two Snake Island, Ilha da Camada Grande, just off the coast of Brazil, lies an island that looks like paradise from afar, but set foot on it and you will be walking into a nightmare. This is Snake Island, officially known as Ilha da Camada Grande. It is home to one of the deadliest snakes in the world, the golden lancehead viper. Estimates suggest there may be one snake for every square meter of the island. Their venom is so potent it can melt human flesh. Because of this, the Brazilian government has completely banned anyone from visiting, except for a handful of scientists who study the snakes under strict supervision. The official reason for the ban is obvious, to protect human life, but some say there is more to the story. Snake Island's isolation has fueled wild theories that secret biological experiments once took place there, or that valuable undiscovered resources lie beneath its soil. Others whisper about ancient ruins hidden beneath the jungle, guarded by the snakes themselves. Whatever the truth, Ilha da Camada Grande is one of the deadliest and most forbidden islands on Earth, a place where humans truly do not belong. Island number 9, Hashima Island, the ghost city of Japan off the coast of Nagasaki. Japan lies Hashima Island, also known as Battleship Island, because of its fortress-like appearance. Once a thriving coal mining community, it housed thousands of workers and their families during the early 20th century. The island was filled with concrete apartment blocks, schools, shops, and even a cinema. But when the coal ran out in the 1970s, Hashima was abandoned almost overnight. Today, its crumbling buildings stand as eerie reminders of its past, a ghost city frozen in time. The Japanese government banned entry for decades due to safety concerns, though recently limited tours have been allowed. Still, much of the island remains off-limits, with large areas close to visitors. During World War II, the island was also the site of forced labor, with Korean and Chinese prisoners made to work under brutal conditions. Many historians argue that part of the reason the government kept it closed for so long was to avoid drawing attention to this dark past. Now, Hashima Island serves as a chilling monument to human ambition, exploitation, and abandonment. It is a place where the wars themselves seem to whisper forgotten stories that governments would prefer remain silent. Island number 10, Gruinard Island. The anthrax experiment off the coast of Scotland lies a seemingly ordinary patch of land called Gruinard Island. For centuries, it was unremarkable, with sheep grazing on its fields and fishermen sailing nearby. But during World War II, Gruinard became one of the most dangerous places on Earth. The British government secretly used the island to test biological weapons, specifically anthrax. The experiments contaminated the soil so badly that the island was declared off-limits for nearly 50 years. Locals lived in fear of the deadly spores being carried by wind or water. Signs warning of danger of death stood at its shores, keeping anyone from setting foot on it. In the 1980s, a massive cleanup operation was carried out, involving thousands of liters of formaldehyde being sprayed across the land. Finally, in 1990, the island was declared safe and sold back to its original owners. But many remain skeptical. Some believe the contamination was never fully removed. Others suspect additional secret experiments took place that were never revealed. Even today, Gruinard carries a reputation as a cursed island, an example of how governments can poison a land, then hide its truth beneath official statements. Island number 11. Plum Island, America's secret laboratory. Just a few miles off the coast of New York sits Plum Island, home to one of America's most secretive government facilities. For decades, it was the site of the Plum Island Animal Disease Center, where research was conducted on some of the world's most dangerous livestock diseases. The official explanation is that Plum Island's isolation makes it ideal for studying diseases without risk to the mainland. But over the years, rumors have grown. Whispers of genetic experiments, strange hybrid creatures, and bioweapons development have surrounded the island. Some conspiracy theorists even link Plum Island to the mysterious Lyme disease, claiming it accidentally spread from there to the nearby town of Lyme, Connecticut. The island is completely off-limits to the public. Armed guards patrol its shores, and no one enters without clearance. While the government insists that its work is purely scientific, the secrecy has only fueled suspicion. Now, plans are underway to close the facility and move operations to Kansas. But what of the decades of experiments and potential hazards still buried beneath Plum Island? For many, it will forever remain one of America's most forbidden places. Island number 12, Bangar Island. The cursed retreat, myth or reality. While Bangar is more famously known as a haunted fort in India, there are whispers of an offshore island location tied to the same legends. According to local stories, this Bangar Island is cursed ground where no settlement can survive. Fishermen avoid it, and the government discourages exploration. Though the evidence of this island is scarce, its legend reflects a common theme among forbidden lands. Governments often hide cultural or supernatural fears beneath a blanket of restricted access. Whether real or exaggerated, stories like Bangar remind us that not every island is banned for practical reasons. Some may be feared for far older, darker ones. Island number 13, Niihau. The island of hidden experiments in the South Pacific lies Niihau, a small coral island often overlooked on maps. While it is technically inhabited and open to tourism, much of its land remains restricted under government agreements. Rumors suggest that during the Cold War, Niihau was secretly used for nuclear testing by foreign powers. With the cooperation of local governments, others believe the island's isolation makes it a hub for intelligence operations even today. Although not officially declared forbidden, the sections of Niihau that outsiders cannot visit hint at the possibility of buried secrets, sealed away under the guise of protection. Island number 14, Ramri Island, the swamp of death located in Myanmar. Ramri Island is infamous for one of the most chilling stories of World War II. During a battle between Japanese and British forces, hundreds of Japanese soldiers fled into the island's mangrove swamps. What happened next became legend. Nearly 1,000 men were allegedly killed, not by bullets, but by crocodiles. Though some historians debate the scale of this incident, the legend has given Ramri Island a terrifying reputation. The swamp is considered one of the most dangerous in the world, filled with crocodiles, disease, and suffocating mud. Today, large parts of Ramri remain inaccessible, with governments quietly discouraging exploration. Some believe the real reason is environmental preservation, while others think the swamps still hide wartime secrets or evidence of something far older lurking beneath. Island number 15, Poveglia Island, the island that vanished. Perhaps the strangest of all is Poveglia Island. Once documented on maps in the Gulf of Mexico, for centuries, sailors marked its existence, but by the late 20th century, the island had mysteriously vanished. When the Mexican government launched an expedition to locate it, no trace of the island could be found. Some believe it eroded or sank beneath the waves. Others, however, suggest something more sinister. Conspiracy theorists claim Poveglia was deliberately erased to alter maritime boundaries between the United States and Mexico, which would affect oil rights in the region. To this day, the mystery of Poveglia remains unsolved. Was it an error of cartography? Or was it an island governments did not want the world to know about? Conclusion: why these islands remain hidden. From the plague-soaked ruins of Poveglia to the deadly snakes of Ilha da Quemada Grande, from the erased atoll of Diego Garcia to the ghost city of Hiroshima, these islands remind us that the world map is not as open as it seems. Some are forbidden for our safety, others for secrecy, and some because their truths would shatter the way we see history itself. Governments may claim they are protecting the public, but the truth is that hidden within these forbidden islands are stories of lost civilizations, dark experiments, and untold mysteries. They are the blank spots on the map, the shadows where history hides its deepest secrets. And perhaps the real question is this: what else is still hidden from us, waiting to be discovered? The forbidden truths of our world as we stand at the edge of this journey, having sailed past islands erased from maps, poisoned by experiments, haunted by curses, and guarded by secrets. One truth becomes impossible to ignore: the world is far more mysterious than we are allowed to believe. Governments tell us they are protecting us, keeping us safe from venomous snakes, from plague, from hostile tribes, from the remains of dangerous experiments. And yes, some of that may be true. But hidden between the official lines are questions that have never been answered. Why is it that so many of these islands are tied to warfare, biological weapons, and secret military operations? Why do so many carry stories of lost civilizations, unexplained disappearances, or forbidden ruins? And why do governments go to such extreme lengths to not just ban entry, but to erase knowledge of these places entirely? The ocean is vast, and the Earth's islands are countless. Yet, time and time again, we discover places that we were never meant to see, places that seem to guard truths about our past, our future, and perhaps even our survival as a species. Think of North Sentinel Island, locked away like a living time capsule of ancient humanity. Think of Diego Garcia, where people were ripped from their homes so powerful nations could build their hidden base. Think of Poveglia, an island that simply vanished, as though swallowed by the sea or by politics. Perhaps the reason these islands are forbidden is not just about danger, but about knowledge. Knowledge that could rewrite our history books. Knowledge that could expose secrets governments would rather bury beneath waves, swamps, and volcanic rock. Knowledge that reminds us the Earth still holds mysteries beyond our comprehension. And maybe that is why the allure of these forbidden places will never fade. Because deep down, we all want to know what lies beyond the warning signs. Past the restricted zones, behind the no-entry orders, we want to uncover the truth of what governments hide, of what nature conceals, and of what history has forgotten. So the next time you look at a world map, remember this: it does not show you everything. Between the blue waves and green coastlines, there are islands that remain blank mysteries waiting to be uncovered. And maybe, just maybe, the greatest secrets of our world are not in space, not in the stars above us, but hidden here on Earth, on the forbidden islands that governments never wanted you to know about.